Hi, welcome everybody. This is a tutorial video on how to use the financial functions on your TI-83 and 84 plus. On this particular video, we're going to go over the basics on how to get to the financial functions on the calculator, and then we're going to do one question, the one you see here on the screen. That's the question we're going to be doing. We're actually going to plug some of the numbers in and show you how to solve. So first, if your calculator's off, what you're going to do is go down here and press the on button. Once your calculator's on, you'll know it's on by its flashing up here. The next step into getting on to solve for the financial problems is you're going to go, if you just follow my cursor, I'll try to, when I click, have a little circle come along. We're going to go down here to the apps, and you'll press that. Once that pops open, you're going to see finance as number 1 in the applications. Some of you might have a bunch of other applications. You don't need to worry about that. We're just going to focus and use number 1. So let's go ahead and click that. Go to number 1 and click that. Okay, so it brings us up to the main menu for the finance functions. We are primarily going to use number 1, which is TVM solver, which is time value of money. We will also be using number 7 and number 8. And in order to get down to those, you could press 7 or you could press 8, or you can use this scroll right here. And if you just click down on it, it'll move you down. So number 7 is NPV, net present value, and number 8 is IRR, internal rate of return. I'll have videos of how to solve for those. Those will come probably later in the class. You'll first begin with TVM and then move on to NPV. So let's start with the TVM right here, number 1. Okay, you'll be brought to this window where for each question you'll basically be given four bits of information. You'll have to solve for the 5th. Let's walk through what each letter means. So N is number of years. IY, well, in this case it's just I, which is our interest rate, or you might see discount rate. PV is present value. Payment is PMT. FV is future value. P/Y is number of payments per year. And I recommend keeping this at 1. Some of you might have 12, as in monthly payments, or 4 as quarterly payments, or 2 as semi-annual. It's by far easier to just keep it as 1, and that way there's no confusion with a question switching from monthly to semi-annually. You just make the adjustments up here. And the last, second to last is the CY, and CY means number of interest compounding periods per year. Something that I'll just keep at 1, makes it a lot easier and simpler. Okay, and then this is payments. Are they made at the end of each month or year or whatever time period we're looking at, or at the beginning of that time period. And remember, end would be an ordinary annuity and begin would be an annuity due. For a lot of questions that we will be looking at, they will be ordinary annuities, so they'll be in end mode. If you do face a question, they'll need to explicitly say this was made at the beginning of the month or something to that effect, where you know, okay, I need to switch it to begin mode. Okay, well let's look at this first question. It says, compute how long it takes for money to double given an interest rate. Okay, at 4% compounded monthly, how long will it take $500 to double? So let's write this out. So our IY, we know that that is 4. And then it's saying how long will it take our present value, which is negative 500, to be worth in the future $1,000. So we're effectively solving for this n right here, saying how long is that going to take us. So let's move over here to our calculator. N. What is n? We don't know. We're going to have a 0 in there or some number, but that's one we're going to be solving for. And in order to move among these different numbers, there has to be a number in there, or like in this case, let's just have a 0 just so we can move down to the next one. I, we said, was 4. You keep that 4%. You don't need to put that in decimal form. You don't need to have 0.04. Leave it as a solid number. If you do, it'll screw things up. So leave that in as a solid number. Okay, our present value is 500, but we need to put that in as a negative. Either your present value or your future value has to be a negative number. So to keep things simple, let's put present value always as a negative. So negative 500. And then payments, there isn't payments. Our future value, we know we want it to be 1,000. Okay, and did it tell us what, if it was in the beginning or end of the month? No, it didn't. So we just, in this case, we always assume that it is an ordinary annuity unless it explicitly says that it's an annuity due, or that it would, or in other words, that it should have been at the beginning of each month. Okay. But one thing that it does tell us that we need to catch is that it compounded monthly. Because of that, our interest rate is not going to be 4%. We're going to have to take that 4% and divide by 12. So let's go up here, 4, and then let's divide that by 12. Enter. Okay, so now it's in monthly form. Now we're going to solve for that n, which is how long is this going to take us. In order to solve, we go over here to alpha. Everyone see that? Alpha. Click that and come over here to enter or solve. And it's saying that it's going to, in order for it to double, it's going to take 208 payments. Well, what if the question were to say, well, how many years is this going to take? Well, we would have to divide that number by 12. So let's move our cursor all the way over, go to the divide, and then divide by 12, and then go over here to enter. And let's go ahead and click that. it would take us 17 years for this particular amount of money to double.